Yes.
Listening to you, I am always impressed at how much intense has been your journey, and it feels a bit like you went through from very strong fighting to a state of bubbling joy. And did you ever, in the midst of this, find a level where you would be witnessing, observing in such a detached way that it would be very close to indifference and like, like nothing matters and everything loses its colors and
sometimes in the mind you may produce that, but then if you observe that, then that also goes again. It's that there are two types of indifferences. There is the indifference being totally caught up in my personal bubble, indifference of a drunk. He couldn't care less whether the others go to hell or not. If he has his alcohol, fine. Or then there is the indifference of a yogi who knows ultimately nothing matters. It's not the same indifference. That indifference of the yogi is not disconnecting you. In contrary, you feel connected and ultimately nothing matters because it's anyhow the divine game and the attention of each and everyone is returned to that. But maybe it's better not to call it indifference because people take offense to that word. Call it unconcerned. Not to be concerned all the time. Knowing there is a cosmic wheel running this show, I need not be concerned as an individual about every damn little thing.
But it feels like a kind of dreamy state and not that it matters, but it's not pleasant because it has no more colors or flavors or savor.
Right, but then it's not because you are unconcerned, but because that unconcerned still you create maybe a bit bigger, maybe a bit a new coloring, but you create again that bubble of the me. Now it's me not caring. Me then not feeling connected because of that. But still create that separation, but then me, I'm not caring. It may happen that on the way you go through stages like this where you feel a bit like this, but deep down you understand it's not that you have to build up that more, something is not right there, because you still keep that sense of me separate. And as long as it is there, then sooner or later we have to address it again. But this is not the only aspect. It will come in different ways. You start to practice, and then you start to observe how you are functioning, and you start to get rid of certain things, and then the old mechanism of creating the separation, of the me, will sneak in again in a subtler way. And then we may be stuck with it quite a while and be quite proud. And now I'm sadhak and I'm doing this practice and I have good meditations. And that kind of stuff. And then, but if you are sincere, sooner or later you become aware. Look, I'm doing again the same thing, the same separating me, proud sadhak, and all the others still being these worldly people. But then it's something in a subtler way, like, okay, you may not more indulge in these big ideas about yourself, but just create still that sense of separation and care only about your own thing and to hell with the whole rest. That doesn't mean you should now be concerned about everything that is happening in the world and be sorrowful about it, but you need not cut it off. And what you described can happen, but it's still cutting yourself off as a separate person. And when you become aware of that, then you can observe that and start to work on it, to let go of that. And then that will go also. And you may remain equally unconcerned, but your experience is going to be expansive again. When it's getting dry and stuffy, then you can be sure something is not yet quite right.
I'm sure something is not right because I feel still separated, but it's not a dance feeling, it's rather like I am disappearing, I'm floating really. I'm floating and there is no touchstones of things to be present. Something like this.
Right. The good health, you have heard me many times say this. Include your body. Find the point in your body where you are centering easiest. And then center and include your whole being, also all the levels of your expression. The body, the energies, the mind, the intellect. And if you consciously do that, then maybe for sometimes you may even feel a bit tricked. And previous at least I could float gently. And then it may not always float so nicely. But it's like if you don't include the roots of the plant, then the plant also doesn't really unfold. But if you include that, then maybe for sometimes it may not give you such a nice floating feeling because you feel now I'm again busy on the body level. But then if you relax on that level, then that feeling totally starts to change and it stops feeling physical. And then the difference between physical and energetic and the consciousness and the pure consciousness and the pure love gets less and less and less. And you are not more just dreamingly floating away, but you are becoming more and more alert, consciously conscious, not half asleep conscious, consciously in touch with that sense of presence. Center and relax. Even when you are floating, center. The centering doesn't mean to make your consciousness small in a little pinpoint. Center and be as expansive as you can.